So I think we are good to start today's session. Uh, so how we'll be forwarding or how the process is going to happen is we'll be discussing the previous year questions of AEEE and JEE. So I have explained or I have written all the solutions in really detail. So we'll be first discussing a question. You can try to solve the question from your own side. And if you are stuck in some in between some place or if you have any doubts, you can just message in the chat box so that I'll be just checking on it. Okay. So this is the first question. I hope you all remember the topic, this topic that you have studied in the uh, plus one. So this is a question which is from plus one. You can start doing the first question. There are four options. We need to find out which one is true. The Boolean expression P and negation Q or negation P and Q is equivalent to. You can use different identities that you have studied, the distributive properties and all to solve this, or you can just use truth table to solve this. Whichever is comfortable for you, you can just try that method. So I hope everything is better now. And if you have any queries in between, you can just type it in the chat box. So ma'am, screen and everything is completely fine, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. So think about which properties you're going to solve. So there are four options. Option A is negation P and Q. Option B is P and Q. Option C is P or Q. And option D is P or negation Q. So whichever is correct. We need to find out which among these options is correct. So which property we'll use first? Or if you are comfortable, you can just go for PQ. Put all the inputs, all the four inputs. Then you can find out the negation P and negation Q. Then start finding each one individually. So I've solved this problem using two methods. So whichever is comfortable, you can go with that. But I would say using identities can save you much more time, because when it comes to a competitive examination, time is time. It's a very important factor. You need to solve problem in very less amount of time. So I wish if some students have completed, you can just type your option in the chat box, or maybe we can directly start with the discussion. I think some students were there in the last class also. So Pratiksha, have you completed the problem? So students, please try to respond in the chat box so that I'll also get an idea about what's the status, whether you have started doing the problem. Yes. So I think we can start discussing how we are going to solve this problem. So this is something which is given in the question. P and negation Q or negation P and Q. So how I'll be able to write this? I'll be able to write this in this way. I'm going to take this as one part. I'm sorry, this particular section as up to this as one part. So it will be P and negation Q or Q. Or this is the term negation Q and, sorry, negation P and Q. So now I'll be able to split these terms. How I'll be able to write this? P or Q and negation Q or Q. So here I have written it. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, you can just go through this stuff. So here we have expanded these terms. It is something like P or Q and negation Q or Q. Then this term itself, or negation P and Q. So here what is the output of this term? Negation Q or Q, it's T, right? So here we'll be able to write this part as P or Q and T. It is P or Q. So this term gets simplified into this part, P or Q or negation P and Q. Now we'll be able to write this as simply as P or Q or negation P and P or Q or Q. So we'll have this term as T. So it will be Q or T and P or Q. So what is the answer? The answer is P or Q. So this is the first way or the easy method in which you'll be able to solve the program. So whatever is there in the question, you need to understand how you're going to change it or how you're going to simplify the terms in such a way that you will be able to reach the answer. That's the first step everybody should understand. So how this expression can be simplified. So taking this as one part, then applying the formula and you'll be able to solve this. That's the first method. So I hope this method is clear to everyone. I could not see anybody responding in the chat box. I wish, or is it something like you are not able to understand the identities or you don't remember it? Why? Because it's like you have studied this topic in your 11th. So it's completely fine. Now coming to the most easy method which we know, that is using truth table. So you can use truth table to solve these category of problems also. So I have, we know there are only 4 options or 4 inputs. It's true, true, or true, false, false, true, and false, false. So this is something which the question has asked me. It's P and negation Q or negation P and Q. So I need to find out P and negation P, Q, negation P and negation Q. That is the first part. So I have completed that. Then the first portion is P and negation Q. So I found it's like, you know, the and or operation, right? So it is P and negation Q. So it's true, false, it's false, it's true, true, it's true, it's false, false, it's false, it's false, true, it's false. Similarly, here you need to find negation P and Q. So I have found negation P and Q. Now I need to find this, join this term, the first term with, I need to find the, or I need to join the first term as or with Q. So after that, I'll do it with the, I'll perform an or operation with the next term. So I got the final answer as this. So once I know what all options I got or what all options I receive by solving them using the truth table, now what I want to do is I want to check among the option because we know there are 4 options. So what you have to do is you have to find out what is there with each option. So you need to do negation P and Q or P and Q, or you need to find out P or Q or P or negation Q. So in the next step, I have taken the first option. It is negation P or Q. So we have already have the value of negation P and Q. So what's the value? Then what is P and Q? I have the set of values. Then what is P or Q or what is P or negation Q? So once I understood or once I complete all the options, I need to check the value because what I got after solving the truth table was after solving these using the truth table, what the combinations I got was true, 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 and false. So I need to check which among the option I got the same thing. So it's true, 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 and false. So it comes with the third option. It's P or Q. That's how the third option becomes an answer for this question. But I would say this can be something which you can use when you feel like, yeah, I want to recheck the answer. Otherwise, I would appreciate you in using this equations and solving the question because you have to use this equations. Why? Because it will save you a lot more time. Is the first question correct? Or do you have any doubts in the first question? I kindly request, I know there are a lot of students listening to this session. So I kindly request all of you to type in the chat box if you have any doubts. Or is this the first time you're encountering a problem like this? Can anyone respond if you were able to solve this question, or is there any doubt in any part of this question? Ma'am, is the chat box enabled? Parvati ma'am, is the chat box enabled? Just for a confirmation, because I think students are not responding, so that's why. So students, if you want, I'll discuss this question once again. It's a part of the chapter that you have studied in your 11th. It's P and negation Q or negation P and Q. You need to find out which is equivalent. This Boolean expression is equivalent to which among the option. There are two methods to solve this problem. The first one is really simple. It's something like whatever identities you have studied in your school, you can directly use it, you can directly substitute it and solve the problem. And the second method is using truth table or depending upon the truth tables, which also we have studied. So I hope this question is clear. Can we move forward to the second question? Or is there any doubts? So yes, I think we'll be able to move forward. I hope the second question is visible. It's a very simple question. There may be some students who feel like, yeah, this question is tough. I'm not able to understand it. It's completely okay. Some questions will be from your 11th standard. So whatever topics are there in 11th, some questions will be from that chapters also. It will be a mix of 11th and 12th. So the second question is, if in a regular polygon, the number of diagonals is 54, then the number of sides of this polygon is. If in a regular polygon, the number of diagonals is 54, then the number of sides of this polygon is. I have four options here, 10, 12, 9 and 6. This is a problem which you can solve once you have the equation with you. Once you know the equation, it's just solving for n. So just try to solve it. We'll be discussing it once you solve it. How we are going to solve this problem. Just a simple equation is needed. If in a regular polygon, the number of diagonals, I know the number of diagonals, it's 54. I want to find out the number of sides of this polygon. So just think, I need to connect number of diagonals of a polygon with number of sides of a polygon. Which equation I can use? Which equation I have studied is okay, or which equation can help me to solve this problem? I think Yashwant has joined. So Yashwant, um, which formula we can use to solve this question? This is also all the questions which we are discussing today are previous year JEE and AEEE questions. So Sriram, I hope you have completed the question. Which formula you have used in solving this problem? Okay. So let's discuss how we are going to solve this problem. What is the equation to find number of diagonals of a polygon? It's n into n minus 3 by 2. So once I know this formula, where n is the number of sides. Once I know the formula which connects the number of diagonals, sorry, n is the number of sides. I have typed it. I'm so sorry. The question is asking for number of sides. So n is number of sides. So number of diagonals, it's given in the question, it's 54, which is equal to n into n minus 1. Sorry, n into n minus 3 by 2. That is the formula. Like you have an equation, you can formulate an equation and you can find the values of n. Whichever is positive, you can take that value. That's how you have to answer this question. So yes, I'll just read out the question once again. If in a regular polygon, the number of diagonals is 54, the number of sides of the polygon. Here in, I have written it wrongly, it's number of sides. So number of diagonals of the polygon is n into n minus 1 by 2. So number of diagonals, it's already given in the question. So 54 is equal to n into n minus 3 by 2. So 108 is equal to n into n minus 3. You can just formulate an equation which is n square minus 3n minus 108. So this 3n, I'll be able to write minus 3n, I'll be able to write this as minus 12n plus 9n. So I have two options here, n minus 12, n plus 9. So what are the values of n? n is equal to 12 and n is equal to minus 9. Which one is okay? Because it's the sides I need to have a positive value. So n is equal to 12 is the correct answer. That is option B. So among these options, option B is correct, which is n is equal to 12. I think you all will be able to answer the third question, which is a common question. This is also a previous year JEE question. So yes, I'll read out the question. Let the population of rabbits surviving at time t is governed by the differential equation d by dt of p of t equal to 1 by 2 p of t minus 200. If p of 0 equal to 100, then p of t is. You need to, it's like you when you look into this question, you can know it's in the form of d by dt of p of t. And in the answer, there is something called e raised to, it's in the form of e raised to something. Maybe t by 2 minus t by 2 in that form. So think, and in the question they have given p of 0 value also. So think, from the question I need to get into the answer. How am I going to do it? Let the population of rabbits surviving at time t is governed by the differential equation d by dt of p of t equal to 1 by 2 into p of t minus 200. They have given p of 0 equal to 100. Then what's the value of p of t? P of 0 is given as 100. We need to find the value of p of t. Option A is 400 minus 300 into e raised to t by 2. Option B is 300 minus 200 e raised to minus t by 2. Option C is 600 minus 500 e raised to t by 2. Option D is 400 minus 300 e raised to minus t by 2. In this question, you could see option A and D are somewhat similar. It's just in the sign of minus t by 2, or it's just in the sign of t by 2. There is a small difference. So I'm waiting for you students to complete this question. Think about, when I have this in the question, how am I going to solve it? When I have this value in the question, how am I going, or when this is given in the question, how am I going to solve it? Let the population of rabbits surviving at time t is governed by differential equation d by dt p of t equal to 1 by 2 p of t minus 200. They have given the value of p of 0, which is equal to 100. Then p of t is. What's the value of p of t? I could see there are a lot of students here in the session. Are we able to understand it? Because I am a little bit confused, I would say. Why? Because I'm not able to see anyone typing in the chat box. So in the last session itself, a lot of students used to say, yeah, I'm not able to understand this, just say again and all. So yeah, I wish the session to be interactive. Okay. So I think let's discuss the answer for this question. Population of rabbits surviving at time t, they have given it in the form of a differential equation d by dt of p of t equal to 1 by 2 p of t minus 200. So this is something which we know, and we know the value of p of 0. What the question is asking us to find out is p of t. What's the value of p of t? So yes. So with water data that is given in the question, how we can start is, I'm just going to rearrange the terms in such a way that the terms will come in a similar manner in both the sides. So the first part is d by dt of t equal to 1 by 2 p of t minus 200. So this I'll be able to write as p of t, or 1 into p of t, or it's p of t minus 400 by 2. Okay. So that's what I have written in this step. d by dt of p of t equal to p of t minus 400 by 2. Now check what I have written. Here, this p of t minus 400, I can take it to this side, and this dt can dt can go to the other side. So I'm just going to rearrange this terms and I'm going to write this as dp of t by p of t minus 400 equal to dt by 2. I hope up to this everybody is able to understand. I have just rearranged the whatever is given in the question. I have just rearranged it in such a way that I'll be able to arrange the terms in the form of dt as well as p of t. So the first part is dp of t by pt minus 400, p of t minus 400 equal to dt by 2. Now what I'm planning to do is I'm going to integrate on both sides with respect to x. So if I'm planning to take integral with respect to t on both sides, how it will be? Integral of dt by t. So what's the value? Integral of dp of t by p of t minus 400. It will be log of p of t minus 400. What this term will be? Integral of dt by 2. It will be t by 2 plus c. Now I have this term in the form of log. It will be log of p of t minus 400 equal to t by 2 plus c. Now I need to remove the log. So what I can do is I can take the exponential. So I'll be able to write this as e raised to ln of p of t minus 400 is equal to e raised to t by 2 plus c. So here I can use the formula x raised to mn. So I'll be able to write this as e raised to t by 2 into e raised to c. E raised to t by 2 multiplied by e raised to c. And this term, this 2 will get cancelled. E and ln will get cancelled and I'll have this term as p of t minus 400. So p of t minus 400 is equal to e raised to t by 2 into e raised to c. So e raised to t by 2 I can replace or I'm going to substitute it as value k. So whatever is given in the question, I have solved it and I have arranged or I have come to a point where I have a simple equation or I have a simple part, which is p of t minus 400 equal to k e raised to t by 2. Now in the question, they have given the value of 0. That is p of 0 is equal to 100. So when I'm planning to put t is equal to 0, what will happen to this term? It will be p of 0 equal to, sorry, p of 0 minus 400 equal to k into e raised to 0 by 2. We know what's the value of e raised to 0. It's 1, right? So I'll be able to rearrange this as p of 0 minus 400 equal to k. Now they have given me the value of p of 0. It's 100. So 100 minus 400 equal to k. So I'm able to find out what's the value of k. It's minus 300. Now I'll be able to substitute the value of k in this equation. So p of t minus 400 equal to, here k will be minus 300 e raised to t by 2. So I'll be able to rearrange the term and I'll be able to find the answer. P of t is equal to minus 300 e raised to t by 2 plus 400. So it's just 400 minus 300 into e raised to t by 2. I hope this question is clear. If there is anything, students, please do type it in the chat box. If you have any doubts, please do type it in the chat box. If you want, I'm ready to discuss the question once again. So yes, we have started with the population of rabbits which is surviving at time t. They have given it in the form of a differential equation, that is d by dt of p of t equal to 1 by 2 p of t minus 200. Then p of 0 is given as 100. They are asking me to find out the value of p of t. These are the 4 options that is given. So first, d by dt of p of t equal to 1 by 2 p of t minus 200. I'm just going to rearrange these terms, whatever is given in the question. So here I'll be able to write this as d p of t by dt is equal to p of t by 2 minus 200. So I've rearranged the question in such a way that I'll be able to get or I'll be able to formulate this as dp of t by p of t minus 400 equal to dt by 2. Now in the question, as it's in the answer as it's in the form of e raised to something and I need to solve this, I'm going to take or I'm going to integrate on both sides with respect to t. So for this term, you have studied it, right? GP of t by P of t minus 400. It can be of log. So I'll be able to write this as log P of t minus 400, and this will be e raised to t by 2 plus c. Now, if I'm taking the exponential, I'll be able to remove this. I'll be able to write this as P of t minus 400 equal to e raised to t by 2 into e raised to c. I'm going to substitute for e raised to c as k. Now, in the question, they have given me the value of P of 0, which is 100. So 100 minus 400, or 100 minus 400 equal to k, because e raised to 0 itself is 1. So I'll be able to find out the value of k, which is minus 300. Now I need to substitute this k here in this equation, and I can solve it, because this is the only unknown which is there in the equation. If I'm solving it, I'll be able to find out the value of P of t, which is asked in the question. So once I put the value here, this equation will change to P of t minus 400 is equal to 300 into, sorry, it's minus 300 into e raised to t by 2. So P of t equal to minus 300 e raised to t by 2 plus 400. So just rearrange it, and I'll be able to get the answer as 400 minus 300 e raised to t by 2, which is the option 1, which is given in the question. 400 minus 300 e raised to t by 2. So I hope this question is clear. Now I think we'll move forward. So this is the next question. This is a very simple question. And I'll just read out the question. In a set of 2n distinct observations, each of the observations below the median of all the observations is increased by 5. So the first point which is given in the question is, I have a set of 2n distinct observations. The question starts with 2n observations. And the next part is, each of the observation below the median is increased by 5, and each of the remaining observations is decreased by 3. So I need to find out the median. And after that, what I need to do is, all the observations which are below the median, there is an increase by 5, and all the remaining, there is a decrease by 3. Then they're asking us to find the status of the new set of observations, or the mean of new set of observations. What is the status of the mean of new set of observations? Whether the value of the mean of the new set of observations is increased by 1, or it's increased by 2, or is it decreased by 2, or decreased by 1. This is something which we need to find out. So yes, you can start answering the question. You can find out how you can solve this question. Then we'll be discussing it. Then we will start discussing on which method we can use to solve the question. There are 2n distinct observations, and all the observations below the median is increased. The values of all of them is increased by 5, and all the remaining is decreased by 3. And I want to find out the mean of new set of observation. So you need to start by thinking, what are the 2n observations? How I'll be able to write it? How I'll be able to derive median? Once I have the median, which all numbers or which all observations or which all values I need to increase by 5, which all values I need to decrease by 3. Then how to find the mean of new set? So this is something which has to be there in your mind when you read this question. And they are not asking any exact value for this question as an answer. They just want to understand whether it will increase or whether it will increase or decrease by what value, whether it's 1 or 2. So yes, students, so please start answering the question. Yes, Yashwant, we'll be sharing the recording. It will be available in the YouTube channel. So that mail also we'll be sending to you. It's completely okay if you're not able to do it in the first point. Why? Because I know you're mostly concentrating on your 12th class, on the 12th topics. So for some topics which is from the 11th, there will be initially difficulty. But don't panic. start solving the questions one by one. And I would say, as exam is near, don't feel like, yeah, I'll complete one chapter, all the formulas, all the theory, then I'll go with the other chapter. Just, you have studied all these things. So what you want to do is, you just want to refresh all the formulas, maybe all the topics that you have studied. So please understand it's okay if you're not able to solve it in the first part. So just try solving. So maybe after one or two sessions, you'll be able to do it, or you'll be able to start it from your own side. So yes, I think you're solving the question. Okay. Okay, some students have answered it. Okay, somebody have typed my sound is low. Is it fine now? Okay. Okay, it increases by 1. Okay, let's see what's the value, how it's happening. Yes. So where we started is, we thought about the 2n distinct observations. So it started, the observations, it's 2n. So I started from x1. So the number of observations will be from x1, x2, x3, etc. xn. It will be xn plus 1, xn plus 2, xn plus 3, etc. up to x2n. So this will be the 2n distinct observations. Now I need to find out the median. For finding out the median, I need to have the mean. So what will be the mean? So all these values divided by the number of observations, it's 2n. Now, how to find out the median? We'll be able to find out the median by xn plus 1 by 2n. So this is something which we understood. Now we are moving to the second part of the question. This is the basic part that is there in the question. Now we are moving to the second part of the question. So here, in the new mean, observations below the median is increased by 5 and all the remaining observations are decreased by 3. So here xn plus 1 by 2n, that is the median. So all the observations below that is increased by 5. So x1 is increased by 5, x2 is increased by 5, x3 is increased by 5. Up to median, all the observations are increased by 5. And after that, all the remaining means xn plus 2, xn plus 3, etc. up to x2n. All these observations are decreased by 3. So what will be the new mean? It is x1 plus x2 plus etc. xn. So all of them, we are increasing it by 5n. And in the second case, xn plus 2, etc. xn, we are decreasing it by 3. So I have just rearranged it as new mean is equal to x1 plus x2 plus etc. xn plus 5n plus xn plus 1 plus xn plus 2 plus etc. x2n minus 3n by 2n. Now, you know, in these terms, you can just subtract this 5n and 3n term. So you'll be able to get the answer as 2n. So you can split this new mean into two parts. You can rearrange the new mean into two parts. The first one is what we already knew. It's x1 plus x2 plus x3, etc. x2n plus 2n by 2n. So what it will be? It will be 1. This 2n will get cancelled and this value will be 1. So what will happen to the new mean? The new mean gets increased by 1. The value of the new mean is increased by 1. So which option is correct? It's the option 1 among the what are options are given. So I hope this answer is clear. So you can just look into it. So I have taken the number of observations. I have taken the median. All the observations below the median, I have increased with it with 5n. And all the remaining observations, it's decreased by 3. And now I'll be able to solve this. I'll be able to split these terms in such a way that I'll get the previous mean plus what happened to the new mean. So the new mean will be the total will be increased by 1. That is option A. Yes. So is this question clear? Yes, I think some students have typed the answer in the chat box. Yes. Now I think we'll move on to the next question. Yes. Let PS be the median of the triangle with vertices P, Q, and R. All the coordinates are given. P is 2, 2, Q is 6 minus 1, and R is 7, 6. The equation of the line passing through 1 minus 1 and is parallel to PS is called. The equation of the line passing through 1 minus 1 and parallel to PS is. Maybe in some of these questions, some of these type of questions, they'll provide you the options, and in some other case, they'll not be providing you the options. Sorry, they'll be providing you the diagram. So in that case, what you need to start is you need to start drawing the diagram first. So PS is termed as the median of the triangle, and the vertices, all of them are given P, Q, and R. P is 2, 2, Q is 6 minus 1, and R is 7, 3. You need to find out the equation of the line passing through 1 minus 1 and it's parallel to this PS. So here also you could see there are only two answers. So you'll be, if you are solving this problem in some way, you'll be able to get these two answers. See, only the signs are different here. It's option A is 2x minus 9y minus 11 equal to 0. Option B is 4x minus 7y minus 11 equal to 0. Option C is 2x plus 9 plus 7 equal to 0. Option D is 4x plus 7y plus 3. So start solving this question. Once you think about how we are going to solve this question, we'll just start the discussion. Let PS be the median of the triangle. All the three vertices are given, and you need to find the equation of line passing through 1 minus 1 and parallel to PS. So if you have an idea about how to solve the problem, or if you know which option is correct, you can just type that in the chat box. Yes, Srinidhi, if there is any doubt, you can just type it in the chat box. And also Jashwant, if you have any doubts, you can type it in the chat box. Okay. So we'll start discussing on how to solve this problem. Here, from the question itself, they have given us PS be the median of the triangle. They have given us an idea that PS is the median of the triangle. So it's this S will be in this QR side, and so QS is equal to SR. Do you agree to that? It divides the triangle into two parts. PS is the median of the triangle, which divides it into two equal parts. Now we can say that S is the midpoint. So once you have these coordinates, you have studied how to find the midpoint, right? X plus or x1 plus x2 by 2 or y1 plus y2 by 2. So for the Q, the coordinates are 6 minus 1, and for R, it's 7, 3. So what will be the x coordinate here? 6 plus 7 by 2. What will be the y coordinate here? Minus 1 plus 3 by 2. So I got the S and the x and the y for S. For S, it is 13 by 2 and 1. Now, we have just covered the portion, the first part, the initial part. We know what's S. I need to find out equation of the line passing through 1 minus 1 and parallel to PS. So they have given me point. I need to find out equation of the line passing through 1 minus 1. So how many of you know how to find the slope? What's the equation of the slope? So the slope of PS, we want to find the slope of PS, then we will be able to find the equation of line passing through the points 1 and minus 1. So how we'll be able to find this out? M is equal to y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. So here we know the value of S, and what are the other values? It is 2, 2. P it is 2, 2. So how we are going to write this? This will be 2 minus 1 by 13, 2 minus 13 by 2. That is y2 minus y1. This is 2, 2, and this is 13 by 2 and 1. So 2 minus 1 by 2 minus 13 by 2. So I have got the answer as 1 by minus 9 by 2. So this will be minus 2 by 9. So once I have the slope, I know the equation. It is y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1. I know all the values. So I'll be able to write this as, this is 1, this is minus 1. So y minus minus 1, it will be y plus 1. M, I have found the slope, it is minus 2 by 9. So this will be minus 2 by 9 into x minus 1. So this will be 9y plus 9 is equal to minus 2x plus 2. And on solving, I'll be able to just rearrange these terms, and it will be 9y plus 2x plus 7. So this is the equation, 2x plus 9y plus 7 is equal to 0. And this is given in the option C. So option C becomes the correct answer. So just hold on for a minute. We'll discuss this question once again. I hope, I think some students are having the doubts. I could see somebody raise their hands. Yes. So see, I know P is 2, 2, Q is 6 minus 1, and R is 7, 3. As the midpoint, I can use the formula to find out it as x1 plus x2 by 2, y1 plus y2 by 2. So I'll be able to find out the coordinates. Then I need to find out the slope, which is equal to m, which is y2 minus y1 by x2 minus x1. I know the coordinates of both of them, P and S. P is 2, 2, and S is 13 by 2 and 1. So I'll just use this formula, and I have the slope, which is minus 2 by 9. Once I have the slope, I can use the formula, the equation. I need to find out the equation of the line which is passing through the point 1 and minus 1. So I can use the formula y minus y1 is equal to m into x minus x1. So this will be y plus 1 is equal to minus 2 by 9 into x minus 1. So on solving, I'll be able to get the answer, get the equation. Equation of the line passing through 1 minus 1 and parallel to PS will be 2x plus 9y plus 7 equal to 0. I hope this question is clear. If you have any doubts, kindly type that in the chat box. If you have any doubts related to this question, kindly type that in the chat box. Can we move forward to the next question? This is a very simple question. The number of 7-digit numbers with sum of the digits equal to 10 and formed by using digits 1, 2, and 3 only is. I need to form a 7-digit number, and the sum of the digits should be 10. It is formed by using digits 1, 2, and 3. So I'm having different criteria. I need to satisfy all these criteria, and I need to find the answer. I need to form 7-digit number. Another condition is the sum of digits is 10, and the digits could only be formed by 1, 2, and 3. The 7-digit integer can be formed by 1, 2, and 3. So just try this from your side. Yes. So the options are 55, 66, 77, and 88. You can just try. There are 7-digit numbers. Some should be 10, and the numbers which are the digits which I should take are 1, 2, 3. Which all are the combinations that you're receiving? It's a very simple question to answer. So think about which all are the combinations which you are receiving. The number of 7-digit integers with the sum of digits equal to 10 found by using the digits 1, 2, and 3. I think we can discuss this question now. Is there anyone who have received the answer? Nitya, Sai Chaitanya, Udaya, Akash. Are there any students have completed this question and have received the answer? If yes, do type in the chat box. Okay. So from where we will start answering this question? It's very simple logic. Number of 7 digits integers with sum equal to 10, and you're using digits 1, 2, 3. So I'm just putting it as position. So I have from P1 to P7, the sum has to be 10. So if I'm taking 5 ones, then I could take the other two digits as 2 and 3. So the total number will be 10, right? So what will be the combination? It will be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, and 3. What's the other set? If you're going to take 2 or 3, what you need to think is, if you're going to take one digit, how you will be able to write all the other digits in such a way that in 7 places, in such a way that the sum is 10. Use the digits and arrange in positions only 3 digits which are 2 and 3, and their sum should be 10. These are the two things that you should consider or that you need to understand before answering this question. So in the first case, if I'm taking 5 ones, I can have a 5 here, then the other digits will be 2 and 3. So this is totally 10. Now what about the next case? You can think about how many cases you'll be able to write. This is a very simple question. So in the second case, if I'm starting with 2, and if I'm planning to put 4 twos, it will already be 8. Then I'll not be able to cover up 3 positions. So I just reduced it to 3 positions. So it will be 6. Then if I'm taking a 3, it will always be 9. So the other 3 positions I'll not be able to fill. So in this way, you need to think and you need to take the combination. Sorry. Sorry. So it will be 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. If yes, please do type yes in the chat box. So I hope you are able to hear me. I would just share the screen. This is because of some network issue. Is the screen visible, children?
Yes, ma'am,
If
your screen is visible.
okay, okay. So I think I'm facing some network issue today, so that's why this is happening. So I hope in this question you have received the 7-digit numbers. Now we need to find out the 7-digit numbers using the combination 1 to 3 and the sum as 10. Now you need to find out the number of ways in which you'll be able to arrange it. So we have the first option as this. So how we are going to arrange it? It will be 7 factorial divided by, you have given 5 ones. It will be 7 factorial by 5 factorial. So this 5 factorial and 5 factorial will get cancelled. So you have 42 here. Now the second option is this. This is something which you have selected. So here we'll have 4 times 1 and 3 times 2. So it will be 4 factorial into 3 factorial. So once you solve this in the second arrangement, you can have the arrangement, the number of ways of 35. So what will be the total number of ways of arrangement? It will be 35 plus 42, which is equal to 77. So yes, if you have any doubts, please do type it in the chat box. I hope this question is clear. If there is anything, please do raise your hands or please type in the chat box. Akash, Fasil, Jashwant, is this question clear? Or do you want me to discuss this again? Are you able to complete it? Yashwant, is this question clear? Yes, I think some students, yes. Trinity and Sai Chaitanya, a lot of students have typed the option already. Yes. So it's 77 and we are moving towards the next question. Yes. So this is the next question. Let vector A, vector B and vector C be 3 non-zero vectors such that no two of them are collinear. A cross B cross C is equal to 1 by 3. Vector B, its mode of B, C and vector A. If theta is the angle between vectors B and C, then the value of sine theta. We need to find the value of sine theta here. Given ABC are 3 non-zero vectors, and they have given that they are not collinear, or it's like, you know the concept, right? Something called the parallel. They are parallel. So the next important portion which is given in the question is vector A cross B cross C is equal to 1 by 3 mode of vector B, C multiplied by vector A. They have given theta as the angle between the vectors B and C, and we need to find out the value of sine theta. So these are the 4 options. It's 2 root 2 by 3 or minus root 2 by 3, 2 by 3 or minus 2 root 3 by 3. So just start solving. It's like whatever is given in the question is they are non-zero, they are not collinear, and we have a equation or we have a statement here. And they're asking us to find out the angle between the vectors B and C. We need to find out the angle between the two vectors B and C. So yes, I hope you have started solving this question. Yes, Swatik, if you have received the answer, you can type that in the chat box and we can start the discussion of the question. Yes. I hope you are able to solve these questions along with me. If you have any comments, please feel free to type that in the chat box. So I think let's discuss this question. So what are data is given in the question or what are information is given in the question, you need to have an understanding. Yeah, these all things are given. So what are the question is asking? I need to reframe what is given in the question such a way that I'll be able to pick up one option. So these three vectors are non-zero vectors and they are not collinear. That is also given, and this is the only thing which is given in the question. Here we all can use the formula, right? The triple vector product formula that we have studied. So here it's A cross B cross C. So you can write this as A dot C cross B minus B dot C cross A. I hope everybody remember this formula because this is very important when it comes to lot of problems. When it comes to solving lot of problems in competitive examination. This formula is very, very important. So please take a note of it. A cross B cross C equal to, you can write this as A dot C cross B, the basic formula minus B dot C cross A, which is equal to 1 by 3 mode of vector B, vector C, vector A. So once you just check this, you can see that here there is a vector A, here there is a vector A. You can rearrange these terms in such a way that you will be able to take this vector A outside. So here what it will be, vector A dot vector C cross vector B equal to, this term will remain as it is. From this you can take this vector A common, and from this term also this vector A will be common. Now what you need to think is the basic idea which is given in the question, these vectors are not collinear. So what will happen is, what can happen is either this can be 0 or A dot C can be 0. So this term will be 0 and this you can equate to 0. This will be 1 by 3 mode of B vector mode C vector plus vector B dot C is equal to 0. What is B dot C? It's mode BC cos theta. You can write this, right? So it is asking for the angle. We'll just go back through the question once again. It's asking for the angle between B and C. Asking for the angle between B and C, and they want us to find out sine theta. But we know what's the formula here. It's cos theta. So here from this you can take these outside. So it will be 1 by 3 plus cos theta. So this term will be 1. So 1 by 3 plus cos theta equal to 0 and cos theta equal to minus 1 by 3. Now what is sine theta? You can just go, once you know the cos theta, you can find out the sine theta, right? It will be root of 1 minus cos square theta. So 1 minus minus 1 by 3 square. It will be root of 8 by 9. Root 8, you will be able to write this. Once you have root 8, you need to change it because the options are in the other format. So you need to change it. So it's 2 root 2. It's just 2 root 2 by 3. Is this question clear or still you are having any doubts? If you are having any doubts, you can just type that in the chat box. So I'll just quickly go through this question once again. Let vector A, vector B and vector C be three non-zero vectors such that no two of them are collinear and vector A cross vector B cross vector C equal to 1 by 3 mode vector B mode vector C vector A. Theta is the angle between vector B and C. It's given. We need to find the value of sine theta. So whatever is given in the question, I have just written it. I have used the formula. So I've rearranged these two terms. And whatever property is given, it's non-collinear. So what will happen is either this term has to be 0 or this has to be 0. So equate to these terms and substitute for vector B dot C as BC cos theta. So from this, you will be able to find out the value of cos theta. Once you have the value of cos theta, it's easy to find out the value of sine theta. You can just rearrange those terms and you'll be able to find out the value of sine theta. So it's 2 root 2 by 3. I hope you have received an idea of solving this question. If not, please do type it in the chat box. I hope it's clear to all of you. Okay, so I think just hold on for a minute. Do you have any doubts, students? Is it clear? Pratiksha, Udaya, Vasant. So is this question clear? Can we move towards the next question? Okay. So this is the next question. This is also a very important question which comes in most of the competitive examination. This type of question. Angle between the lines whose direction cosines are given, maybe by different equations. Lot of these model type of questions are there. An angle between the lines whose direction cosines are given by the equation L plus 3m plus 5n equal to 0 and 5lm minus 2mn plus 6nl is equal to 0. Direction cosines, they have clearly mentioned it as direction cosines are given by these two equations. So the options are cos inverse 1 by 3, cos inverse 1 by 4, cos inverse 1 by 6, cos inverse 1 by 8. An angle between the lines whose direction cosines are given by the equation L plus 3m plus 5n equal to 0 and 5lm minus 2mn plus 6nl equal to 0. Once you need to find out the angles, you need to have the values for all of the terms L, M and N. So what you should initially focus is to find out these values. What are the values of L, M and N? Angle between the lines whose direction cosines are given by two equations. Think on how you are going to solve this question. How you are going to solve this question. Can we discuss this question? Is the screen visible? Is there any issue? I could see someone typing, it's like I'm not able to view the screen. So can anybody help me with that? Can anybody in the session help me with that? Is the screen visible? Yes, okay. Thank you. So let's see how we are going to answer this question. So what is given in the question? I have just listed it out. Given L plus 3m plus 5n equal to 0 and 5lm minus 2mn plus 6nl is equal to 0. Now I need to find out the values of L, M and N. Then only I'll be able to find out the angle. So what I'm going to do is here I'll be able to find out the value of L. L is equal to minus 3m minus 5n. I'm going to substitute for L in this equation and I'm going to derive the values of M and N. So how it will be? This is 5. For L, I have substituted it as minus 3m minus 5n multiplied by n minus 2mn as it is. And for 6nl, 6n into 4l, I have substituted minus 3m minus 5n. You can just simply solve this and you can arrive at an equation where you'll have two options to solve it. Just expand it and find it in two terms. So once you have the equation m square plus 3nm plus 2n square, you'll be able to find out the solution as m plus 2n and m plus n. So for m, you have two values with respect to n. M is equal to minus 2n and m is equal to minus n. So we are having two cases here to solve. We have here two cases to solve. So how to do this? So in the first case, the value of m is equal to minus 2n. So once I have m is equal to this value, I'll be able to find out L because I know what is L. I'll be able to substitute it in L is equal to minus 3m minus 5n and I'll be able to derive the value of L. So in the first case, after substituting m is equal to minus 2n, I can solve this. I can get the value of L as n. So I hope I'll just wait or I'll just give 2 minutes for you to solve this problem up to this. So these are the two equations which is given in the question. L plus 3m plus 5n equal to 0 and 5lm plus 5lm minus 2mn plus 6nl equal to 0. So from the first equation, I'll be able to segregate for L. For L, I'll be able to find out another equation. I'll be able to substitute it. I'll be able to come up with an equation from which I can get two roots or two solutions for M. M is equal to minus 2n and M is equal to minus n. Once I have these two values, I understood that there are two cases in which I have to work on. So for the first case, I have taken the value of M is equal to minus 2n. I have substituted this value in the L and I found the value of L as L is equal to n. Similarly, in the case 2, I took the value of M as minus n, which is here. I have substituted it in the same part and I understood the value of L as minus 2n. So now I have two cases with the value of L, M and n. What are the possibilities? So for the first case, I'm taking M is equal to minus 2n, L is equal to n, and n is equal to n. For the second case, I'm taking L is equal to 2 and minus 2n here, M is equal to minus n, n is equal to n.